One day, a wife came home early and walked into the bedroom, only to find her husband in bed with a stunning young woman. Naturally, she was furious. "You disrespectful pig!" she screamed. "How dare you do this to me? I'm your faithful wife, the mother of your children. That's it, I'm leaving you. I want a divorce right now." Wait, just a minute, love," the husband pleaded. "At least let me explain." "Fine," she snapped, "but these will be the last words I ever hear from you." So the husband began. "Well, earlier today I was getting into the car to drive home when this young woman asked me for a lift. She looked so helpless, thin, and miserable that I felt sorry for her and let her in. I noticed she was starving. She told me she hadn't eaten in 3 days. So I brought her home and gave her the enchiladas I made for you last night, the ones you refused to eat because you're worried about gaining weight. She devoured them in seconds. Then I realized she needed a shower, so I let her clean up. Her clothes were filthy and full of holes, so I threw them out. Since she had nothing to wear, I gave her your designer jeans you won't wear anymore because you say they're too tight. I also gave her that lingerie I bought you for our anniversary, the one you never wear because you said I had no taste. And since she needed a top, I gave her the blouse my sister gifted you for Christmas, the one you refused to wear just to spite her. Finally, I even handed over those expensive boutique boots you've been hiding in the closet, the ones you won't touch because a coworker bought the same pair. By the time I walked her to the door, she was overwhelmed with gratitude. With tears in her eyes, she hugged me and whispered, "Do you have anything else your wife doesn't use?" At 30,000 feet, a small plane was cruising peacefully through the clouds. On board were 5 passengers, an old man, a schoolboy, a lawyer, a doctor, and a community service worker. Suddenly, disaster struck. The pilot collapsed from a fatal stroke, and the plane began a terrifying descent. Panic filled the cabin as the passengers scrambled for parachutes, but there was a problem. Only 4 parachutes for 5 people. The community service worker jumped up first. "I protect vulnerable children and support families in crisis. The world needs me," she cried, snatched a parachute, and leapt. Next, the lawyer straightened his tie. "I'm one of the sharpest minds in law. My brilliance is irreplaceable." He grabbed a pack and jumped without hesitation. The doctor didn't waste a second. "I save lives every day. It's only right I save my own now." With that, he seized a parachute and dived out. Only the old man and the schoolboy remained as the plane spiraled down. The old man looked at the boy with gentle, weary eyes. "Son, I've lived a long life. You have so much ahead of you. Take the last parachute." But the boy smiled and shook his head. "It's okay, sir. We can both go." The old man blinked in confusion. "But there's only 1 parachute left." The boy chuckled. "Not true. That brilliant lawyer just jumped out with my school backpack." A state trooper was parked on the side of the highway, radar gun ready, watching for speeders. Instead of a car flying by, he spotted an old sedan creeping along at only 22 miles per hour. Frowning, he muttered, "Driving that slow can be just as dangerous as speeding." He switched on his lights and pulled the car over. Inside were 5 elderly ladies, 2 in the front, 3 in the back, all wide-eyed, pale as ghosts, gripping the seats like they were on a roller coaster. The driver, a tiny woman with neatly curled white hair, rolled down her window. "Officer, I don't understand. I wasn't speeding. Why did you stop me?" The trooper gave a gentle smile. "Ma'am, you were driving 22 miles per hour. She beamed with pride. "Exactly. I was following the speed limit." The trooper held back a laugh. "Ma'am, that wasn't the speed limit. That was the route number, Route 22. Her eyes widened. "Oh my, I had no idea. Thank you, officer." He tipped his hat. "No problem, ma'am. Just remember, going too slow can be dangerous too." As he turned to leave, he glanced at the terrified women still clinging to their seats. "Before I go, is everyone in your car all right? They look pretty shaken." The old woman leaned closer, lowered her voice, and whispered, "Oh, they'll be fine in a minute. We just got off Route 142. A blonde, eager to make some extra cash, decided to try her hand at odd jobs. With a bright smile and plenty of determination, she wandered into a wealthy neighborhood, knocking on doors and offering her services. At the first house, a well-dressed man answered. "Hi, I'm doing handyman work around the neighborhood. Do you have any jobs I could help with?" she asked cheerfully. The man thought for a moment. "Well, actually, yes. You could paint my porch. It wraps all the way around the house. Great. The blonde nodded enthusiastically. How about $50? Deal, the man said. The paint and brushes are in the garage. Help yourself. As he closed the door, his wife, who had overheard, raised an eyebrow. Does she even realize the porch goes all the way around the house? That's a huge job for $50. The man chuckled. She should. She was standing on it. A couple of hours later, the doorbell rang. The blonde stood there, a few paint specks on her clothes, but grinning ear to ear. All done, she announced. And I even gave it 2 coats since there was some paint left over. The man was surprised but impressed. Wow, that was quick. Let me grab your $50. As he handed her the cash, the blonde added with a satisfied smile, Oh, and by the way, it's not a Porsche, it's a Ferrari.